White Sox crew. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me. Ooh, are we just live now? Let me redo that. Ayo, welcome into the CHGO White Sox postgame show. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me is Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow him at Ectonwall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. We'll be joined later in the show by our CHGO White Sox beat writer, Vinnie Duber, who is live from a sold-out guaranteed rate field. We're being produced today by Sarah, who is live from our CHGO Bulls draft pick show. Not draft pick show, just draft show, live at PB&J. I think it's going until 11. So, hey, if you're in the neighborhood, you can go hang out for an hour and a half. They are also live. So if you're looking for some Matas Butazid, he's Latvian, and I don't know. Do you know how to say it?
No, I won't mess his name up.
Okay.
He's somebody. He's local, though. He's a Hinsdale product.
Matas Buzelis, I think it is.
Oh, man.
Is. Do you think it is?
Yeah, you sound exactly like a Lithuanian speaker.
Yeah, well, I got some cousins who are Lithuanian. I was going to say Latvian, and that'd be wrong. They were always around, though, in like NHL 13. You could always play as Latvia as the national team. Anyways, I'm delaying the inevitable. The White Sox did sell out tonight's game. It's their first of 2024. So, Herb, let's give it a little golf clap.
Oh, good job, White Sox, for finally doing something that you should have done a long time ago.
And let's get to the meat and bones and meat and potatoes of this. For the 12th time in the 2024 season, not only were the White Sox swept by a team for the 12th time, they were shut out by a team for the 12th time. The 12th time being shut out in 2024 and the 12th time being swept in either a 3-game, 4-game. I even counted the 2-game cup set. So the White Sox are just firing on all cylinders, 21-61 after 82 games, losing tonight 4-0 and giving up a complete game shutout to Gavin Stone.
Yeah, it's just I knew they were going to lose this game, even though I knew Eric Fettig was going to give his all. And 4 runs in the 6 innings he did pitch. I didn't feel like he pitched poorly today. Just ran up to a better team. But Gavin Stone's good. But this is the game that Pedro should be talking about as far as not having the life, not having any type of gumption or any type of pride in your type of job. For those hitters, Gavin Stone just went through the White Sox like a hot knife through butter. I think the average pitches that they saw in an inning was 12. 4 per batter. That's low. That's really low. And they're not doing anything with those games. And if you saw the highlight at the end of the game, they're showing all the strikeouts. They're at the bottom of the zone, in the zone too. He has good stuff, not devastatingly wicked stuff that you should be striking out the many times as they did. I saw 7 the last time I checked. He might have struck out more. No, just 7 in his 9 innings of work. And the White Sox can only muster, 4 hits on the night? That's bad. I mean, this is the game, and Pedro would have stuck around, which I don't know why he got thrown out for. This is the game where you go into the clubhouse and say, gentlemen, yeah, getting swept, it sucks. Getting shut out again sucks. But you guys didn't put effort into what today was. And so I'm pissed at that effort you had today. We're starting off the second half like you started off the first half with another shutout and another bad performance by the offense.
Well, and I mean, I'll give Gavin Stone credit. He's been good this year, 80 innings pitched, not including tonight. So 89 innings pitched, and he's got an ERA below 3. That's very good. His first year wasn't that great as a 24-year-old, but he mowed through the Chicago White Sox. But he's not Kyle Bradish. And Kyle Bradish in that game that you're referring to, where Pedro Grifol called them fucking flat, I guess I could just say effing flat. People don't like us when we swear. So I'm sorry.
There's still a White Sox podcast.
Well,
we're supposed to be nice and calm.
I'm upset. Okay, I'm mad.
We're not on TV. There's no FCC here. Sorry, people. We're gonna cuss every once in a while. We're not just every word like Eddie Murphy said, like filth, flour, and filth, filth, flour, and filth, filth, flour, flour, and filth. We put a couple other words in between the swear words.
Yeah, it's fair, but I mean, there's not a lot of complete game shutouts. I think this is now like the 12th this year, which is fitting for 12th sweep and 12th shutout. But I think this is the 12th complete shutout by a one pitcher this year in 2024. So they're fairly rare. This is the first in Stone's career. He did have one back in 2020 against Central Arkansas, or as a starter for Central Arkansas. So he has one in his career, and then COVID, the world stopped. Maybe Gavin Stone forced the world to stop. But no, he looked fantastic tonight, but he's not Kyle Bradish. And the White Sox did have 4 hits, but against Bradish, when they struck out 11 times, they had 4 walks. And I felt like they were like working him a little bit, and they got him out by the 7th. I mean, this is Gavin Stone, who's never thrown a complete game and almost pitched to Maddox against you. I mean, he had 103 pitches, and if Tommy Pham doesn't squeak one through there and get the 4th hit of the night, he's probably under 100 pitches. Like, it was a pretty brutal effort. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm still shocked that Andrew Benintendi has 6 homers. I think that's such a foul thing. That man might hit below 200 and still hit 10 homers, and I might have to pay you $100 for that. That's just disgusting. But Tommy Pham's been fairly bad in this 38 game stretch. We'll see, maybe he bounces back against Chris Sale. Good luck. Robert's been pretty tough recently too. And we saw the off day for Vaughn yesterday, and then he goes 0 for 3 tonight with 2 Ks. And you're really just relying then on Paul DeJong and Corey Lee for some offense. And although Paul DeJong and Corey Lee have been fun stories, we thought Paul DeJong was coming here for his defense, and we didn't think Corey Lee would be on the team. And then Max Stassi has dealt with a lot of health issues, which has allowed Corey Lee some playing time, the opportunity to shine. And then Martin Maldonado's been bad, so you've seen more Corey Lee, but he's kind of fading a little bit. So, I mean, this White Sox team, especially when the top isn't hitting, and Robert's giving some pretty Robert-esque at bats where maybe he'll hit some hard, but they're pretty tough in a lot of 0-2 count at bats. Vaughn's been pretty bad throughout the year. Benintendi's been a horrible signing. Like, I think we'll see 20 shutouts easily for the Chicago White Sox this year. And now Pedro Grifol is 18-39 away from either 100 wins or 200 losses. Okay, so if he has 39 more losses before he has 18 more wins, he'll have 200 losses before he has 100 career wins. And I can't wait for that. I hope it gets to 17-38 too. We need one more win and one more loss, and then we'll have a 17-38 reference.
I just
do you say what up, hello, Herb?
Yeah, I did. Eric, look at Eric coming through with the jokes. Chicago White Sox, hilarious. Eric, thank you very much. And yeah, I think Eric informing us about the most of the fans. They're not there for the Dodgers. Most of them there for Mexican Heritage Night. The Dodgers played here the last 2 nights, and they got 25 and 23,000 respectively in those 2 games. Tonight was Mexican Heritage Night. They were there for that, not necessarily the Dodgers.
And this too is, and I know a lot of people, mainly racist, were saying like, why is there a Mexican Heritage Night? First of all, there's an Italian Heritage Night. There's an Irish Heritage Night. There's a Polish Heritage Night that was yesterday. Right. And this is the first Mexican Heritage Night. So it's great to see the support from that community to come out, and not only for the 20,000 that got the jersey, the Mexican Heritage jersey, but still to celebrate the first event like this for the Chicago White Sox. Very surprising that a city with such a large Mexican population is not representing that culture of White Sox fans. And even then, Eric, too, let's just give credit for the reason why there's a ton of Mexican Dodger fans, and Fernando Valenzuela and Fernando Mania, the guy who took over baseball with his Rookie of the Year season in 80 or 81. So let's cool it on most of the fans were there to see the Dodgers, because there's a lot of Mexican fans who just are Dodger fans. So it's great that they got the opportunity to go and be in a fine ballpark. You don't need to tear it down and see Shohei Ohtani. I mean, who cares? I mean, they're not going to go to see the White Sox. This is the first sellout. Of course, they're going to go see the $700 million budget Dodgers.
And I feel sorry for those people, because we were there on Monday and it was like 25,000. And that felt, I spent like an inning and a half getting a hot dog and some fries and a drink. And so with 10 more thousand people in the ballpark today, the game was quick too. It was only 2 hours and 2 minutes. So we know they probably,
because the Sox got 4 hits.
Yeah, well, I know they had troubles getting into the stadium, because that's a running thing for the White Sox, because one of the owners runs that security club that gets you into the ballpark. And once they got in the ballpark, the game was over. Ohtani already hit the home run. You're like, okay, it's 1-0 already. In the third inning, it was 4. It's like, okay, this game is over. And 2 hours later, you're done. You're walking back home that quickly. So I'm glad that those people, if they're in their seats, got to see Shohei Ohtani be Shohei Ohtani, set a Dodgers record with both 10 RBIs in each of the last 10 games he's played in the history of their team. Never has happened. And lead off a game on the road with a home run. Never happened in the Dodgers history ever. And so greatness is there. He is a great player, and I'm glad that people came to the ballpark and saw the greatness that is Shohei Ohtani, because that's the last time he'll be in Chicago this year.
Yeah, and hey, I know that in 2026, I will not miss it. There's no way that I will be missing another Ohtani appearance. We were the unlucky ones in a way. We didn't get an Ohtani. Oh no, we did. No, we didn't get an Ohtani homer in our game.
Yeah,
but still,
exactly.
he's still. I mean, he was just fun to watch. Especially we got to see Crochet versus Ohtani, so we got to see some strikeouts. I like to actually see that better. We didn't see any home runs for Ohtani, and we got to see our guy win. So actually, we got to probably see the best game. But Ohtani has harassed us. I think that may be assaulted us might be the better word. In his
put together those that video, that's nice.
Oh, I got to add 2 more homers too. Yeah, 6 home runs in his career before this series against the White Sox at Guaranteed Rate Field. 2 of them off Lucas Giolito, 2 of them off Lance Lynn. I can't remember the next 2. Can I?
Rodon.
Carlos Rodon, and then I want to say it's a reliever, but I could be wrong.
Kopech should be.
Right? It's Kopech. I think it's Kopech.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's the 6 homers. So you can add Eric Fetty to the list and Chris Flexen to that list. He has 8 homers in his career at Guaranteed Rate Field. He has 20 hits at his career at Guaranteed Rate Field. So 8 of his hits are home runs. He has more home runs than singles at Guaranteed Rate Field. 7 singles. He has 2 triples to boot, along with 3 doubles. He's driven in 23 runs. He's scored 17 by himself. He's stolen, I think, 2 bags for the hell of it. And his slash line, 285, 385, and a slugging percentage of 729. The StatCast era has been around since 2015 for players that have seen a minimum of 300 pitches for that span at Guaranteed Rate Field. He is the only player with a slugging percentage above 700. The other 2 behind him are not surprising. It's Nelson Cruz and Mike Trout, and he clears them. Those other guys are at like 660. He's at 729. And to White Sox Tom, who says, just walk Ohtani from here on out. He's walked 10 times. He walked twice tonight. He's walked 10 times. He's been hit by a pitch twice. And he's never, Herb, been intentionally walked by your Chicago White Sox. He's been kicking your ass. Just give him the free damn pass.
That's literally what they did today with Fetty at the second at bat that he faced Ohtani with just 4 pitches around the plate. I turned to Courtney and I was like, it would have been easier just to tell the umpire 4. Like, just tell him 4 instead of wasting 4 pitches that Eric Fetty could use later on. We know this guy's great. And I love Teoscar Hernandez. 18 home runs this year. Man, have a great year. I would want Teoscar Hernandez do the damage against me other than Shohei Ohtani, because Shohei's, as you just read the stats, kills everybody, but the White Sox in particular, and in particular in that ballpark. I think I read last year in 2023, he played the White Sox 7 times only. He had 7 home runs. I think that is the most home runs he had versus any opponent last year. Any. And that is amazing because he played them so few times, where he plays like the Oakland A's 13 times. He plays other teams in the AL West like 13 times each. And he's like, no, this White Sox shit is delicious.
What? How do you have 7 home? Oh, so
total, not just at home.
Oh, right. I'm stuck at the Guaranteed Rate Field thing.
The most home runs last year versus any team is the White Sox with 7. 5 versus the Rangers, 4 versus the Astros, 4 versus the Mariners.
I hate that damn man. Mainly just because, and I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but just Jerry last year just being like, yeah, no, we're not gonna be. We're not signing up. There's not going to be no articles linking us to Shohei Ohtani. He just took himself out immediately.
And
I hate that man more than anything in this world. And I don't think there's been enough. There's been 82 games played in this 2024 season. They've been swept 12 times in a series. They've been shut out 12 times. I don't think that we have said that we hate Jerry Reinsdorf enough in the 2024 season. We did it a lot in 2023. We did it a lot in 2022. But man, I don't think he's gotten enough hate this year in 2024. There's a certain DIE word that I really don't want to bring up, but I mean, he mentioned it in the Crane's Business Chicago article that, it's pretty much him dying that is going to lead to the team getting sold. And I don't want to hope for anyone's death, but also I don't want Jerry Reinsdorf owning the White Sox anymore. So thanks for the moral conundrum, Jerry. I appreciate it.
You're talking about diversity, inclusion, and equity, right?
Exactly. I think that you should take a break before I wish death upon this man. Why don't you let people know about our friends over at Prize Picks?
Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 5 million members. It's the most fun and exciting way to get into the action while watching your favorite sports and players. You just pick more than or less than on 2 or more players for a shot of winning up to 100 times of your cash. And with Prize Picks, you can turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game by watching your favorite sports this summer. You can make a Prize Picks lineups in less than 60 seconds. All you need to do is pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you're locked in. And with the NBA Finals over, hoop action doesn't start. Women's basketball is still heating up with stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese looking to make their names for themselves, and great stars like Breanna Stewart and A'ja Wilson. You can win up to 100 times your cash by watching them ball out. If you're looking for promotions, Prize Pick has got you covered every week. Usually I go with the NBA. It's IO, points, rebounds, assists, more than, less than on Trae Young's points, rebounds, assists. But since that's over, I'm going to go with the Chicago Sky this year. Angel Reese has been racking up the double-doubles. I think she has 8 in a row now in her rookie life. And I'm going to be picking her and her teammate, Carmelo Cardoso, from the foreseeable future, their points, rebounds, assists. Then I just got to see who their opponent they're playing and see if I'm going to go less than or more than on their points, rebounds, assists, or just a single points or rebounds or one of those categories, any of those.
The Aces are in town tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
I think you might want to take Angel under and A'ja over.
No,
I think Asia's going to stomp.
No. Angel Reese, points, rebounds, and assists. Give me that. And I'm going to go A'ja Wilson, points, rebounds, assists. It's going to be a battle. They bring the best out of each other. Yeah, A'ja Wilson's a beast. Damn it. It sucks.
She's going to drop 30 and 20.
It's going to be tough. Download the app today and use the code CHGO for our first deposit match up to $100. That's code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Thank you, Herb. And we also want to let you know about our friends over at Mando. They are one of our newer friends and one of our newer partners, but we are absolutely in love with our Mando whole body deodorant. It will have you smelling great all summer long. I've been using their bourbon leather acidified body wash, and it helps stop odor before it even starts. My wife has been telling me how good I've smelled, so thank you to Mando. Mando's array of odor controlling solutions ensures you'll be fresh from head to toe. The solid stick and invisible cream tube control odor for 72 hours, but you could start the odor control in the shower, again, with the acidified body wash, and you could try this out with their starter pack. The best part about the starter pack is that it all fits into your carry-on, so if you're about to take the vacation, why not treat yourself with the liquids that will fit in the starter pack? They're under 3.4 ounces, and you get deodorant wipes as well, so you can freshen up on the go. Check out the starter pack. We do have a code for you to use. The starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with the solid stick deodorant, the cream tube deodorant, the 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash or the deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And we have a discount code to help you get hooked on our favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with exclusive code CHGO. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code CHGO at shopmando.com, SHOPMANDO.com. The link is in the description below. And again, not too much TMI, but you can see the beard. It's not John Brabia-esque, but it's only been about 3 weeks since I shaved. So you can, imagine what's under here. Mando has been fantastic, and I'm very happy that they're a partner, to keep it simple. All right. Enough about how much I stink. Ohtani doesn't stink. Gavin Stone, just real quick. I know we talked about James Outman, and I guess it's a little bit of a flip thing. Gavin Stone wasn't this good last year. But if Gavin Stone was a part of a Crochet or a Robert package, I'm not going to say a Crochet and Robert package. We're not pushing that narrative. I think you were right to do that yesterday. If they're going to be traded, they should be traded in separate packages. But I think that Gavin Stone would be a nice inclusion. Not the top part of a package, but he looked pretty damn good. I don't even think the Dodgers want to get got a sub-3 under ERA, and you got like 5 years of control. The Dodgers need something that's cheap. I don't know. I don't know if they trade him, but I wouldn't be against that, Herb. All right. Anything else with the Dodgers that really sticks out with you? I got a lot of trade stuff that I want to jump into. Anything else from this Dodgers series that we might not have talked about?
No, they just are consistently winning. I mean, Doc Roberts, he kind of loses it in the playoffs, but he mastered that game yesterday where young pitcher just didn't have it early, and it was just a bullpen game, and all the people they brought in got the job done. That's very difficult to do. And the White Sox, I mean, it's the White Sox, so they didn't score any runs, but I crap on Dave Roberts all the time, especially when he wets the bet in the playoffs. But versus the White Sox, he was perfect.
Crap in the bed and wet. What's it? Crapping on people and wet in the bed. That's a good combo there. So maybe you should keep it clean, Dave. I don't really take anything away. The Dodgers are very good and the White Sox are very, very bad. It's just shows you what a competent organization can do. I mean, the Dodgers haven't missed the playoffs since 2011. That'd be nice. Yeah, I think what the Dodgers since 2011 and 2024 have made the postseason more than the White Sox have in their entire history. So that's a fun stat, isn't that?
I mean, there it is. That tells you all you need to know about these two teams and their franchise history.
But we can say since 2000, Herb, what is the number of World Series titles?
Ones.
1-1. So that can always make you happy. Just think about 2005. And 2, theirs doesn't even count.
It was a Mickey Mouse season.
So there you go. We'll see if the Dodgers try to win a real World Series this year. I guess that's why they spent $700 million on the man that has been terrorizing our lives. All right.
I mean, if you don't win any games at your home stadium in the World Series, I count that as a Mickey Mouse season.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, they won a World Series and it will always count. So I don't hate if they also celebrate it. Whatever. They'll just win though one this year. Evan Ohtani will start pitching, so they'll win one in 2025, and then they'll still be on the team in 2026. They'll probably win that, and then they'll still be on the team in 2027.
And then when Ohtani looks at the numbers that you just posted about him at Guaranteed Rate Field, and he's like, you know what? I'm tired of all this winning. I want to go to Chicago and expand my lifetime there. Jerry's like, nah, we're good. We're not interested. Ohtani, we're good. I guarantee if Ohtani was like, hey, Jerry, I'm interested in coming to you guys. Would you be interested in me coming to the White Sox? He'd be like, no.
Jerry wouldn't make him an offer. They'd have a meeting. They'd make a banner in the UC atrium, Shohei Ohtani number 7 with the White Sox logo, and then they just wouldn't make him an offer at all. All right. One of the more important storylines that has developed is the Braves announced that Chris Sale will be starting tomorrow's game against the Chicago White Sox. It's a makeup game from back in April when the Sox and Braves got rained out. It seems like, according to James Fegan, who mentioned earlier, that the White Sox will be going with a bullpen game. Drew Thorpe's start will be moved to Friday, and the Chicago White Sox will be going up against old friend Chris Sale. I think it's interesting that Sale's coming to town because we're in another rebuild era, and he was the guy that really kicked all of this off. Obviously, Quintana and his trade was a large part of the rebuild, acquiring Eloy Jimenez, Dylan Cease, and who's the other guy? Wasn't there one more guy?
Oh, and those two in that trade? Well, Flete and you talking about the Cubs one?
Yeah,
Flete, Rose and Flete.
Okay, I know you know them, so I just always want to.
Rose and Brian Flete. I wonder what they're doing right now.
I probably listen to this podcast, so they're happy for the shout out. But I guess I want to talk about how you felt trading Chris Sale back in 2016. If you can go tap into that brain, there's obviously been COVID. There was a couple elections in there as well. It might have fried your brain at this point. A couple of midday shows, late night shows, training the Phenom as well at 670 The Score. I mean, there's a lot of memories in that Herb Lawrence mind. So try to tap into 2016, Herb. Did you understand the idea of trading Chris Sale then, because you trusted Rick Hahn, take out, acquiring Kopech and Moncada in their careers. Did you understand the move of trading Sale at the time?
Not only did I understand it, I applauded. I wanted it to happen for multiple reasons. Years leading up to then, the White Sox would do this same thing of just half-assing it, and I always equate it to what Mike Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad used to say. He's like, he had a whole story about, taking this physically abusive husband away from his wife, bringing him to a field and killing that guy so he can never beat his wife again. And I know this is a little dark, but he let that guy go. And later on, that guy eventually killed his wife. And that's what the White Sox were doing, just half measures. You just wanted to scare the hell out of that guy and say, hey, never do this again. Don't do this ever again. And Fred gets me. That's what the White Sox are doing, just half measures. Like, yeah, we'll sign this guy, but we won't go all the way and sign the guy that needs to be done. And so the Chris Sale trade seemed to me like they're pushing all the chips into a rebuild instead of, hey, we'll kind of be rebuilding and also we'll be competing, like they said kind of this year, where they didn't want to say the word rebuild at all this offseason. So I was like, firstly, great, because Chris Sale is at the top of his game. We should get some great players back, which we did. Those players didn't work out, and that's not the fault of Rick Hahn, Kenny Williams, etc. I thought the trade was good that they traded Chris Sale away. And also, I thought Chris Sale was kind of a douche. Both with the Adam LaRoche, Drake LaRoche thing, where he pretty much chastised Kenny Williams for kicking that kid out of the clubhouse, which he should have never been in the clubhouse all the time he was. And for the jersey cut-up thing, that thing that Chris Sale gets known for, besides his pitching the most as a White Sox, where he was having some throwback uniforms that day that he was pitching, took some scissors to most of those uniforms and cut them all up. And so I think he got suspended for that for a couple days. And so I was like, he's kind of a child out here. And with this team that is trying to rebuild, let's just put our chips all in and have no more half measures, go all the way in to a rebuild. And it almost came to fruition, but then the White Sox became the White Sox when it was time to supplement the parts they didn't have as far as starter pitchers, as far as a right fielder, as far as a second baseman. They didn't go out and finish the job like the Houston Astros did, like the Chicago Cubs did, which I believe both of those rebuilds are kind of the blueprint of what the White Sox followed, but they didn't follow the final thing where you got to go and get a veteran free agent to supplement the parts that the youngsters did not do. And so
Did you see who started the game for the Brewers today?
No, who was it?
Dallas Keuchel, the man that they did get to some. So, hey, and Yasmani Grandal is doing just fine in Pittsburgh, my friend.
Yeah, and then we went and got our right fielder.
And then our left fielder a couple years after.
Nomar Mazara.
I was thinking Andrew Benintendi. My mind's he's always on my mind, as Willie Nelson says.
I was fine with it. I'm actually still fine with it. It's a good trade for the White Sox. I thought the results of the trade, of course, Chris Sale won it because he won a World Series out there in Boston and still is pitching really well now for the Atlanta Braves. And you see Kopech is kind of, and Moncada's on the IL constantly. And so, the White Sox lost that trade gloriously, but I didn't have a problem with the trade at the time and the person going over to Boston.
Yeah, I guess that's why I kind of hate winners and losers of trades, because you thought it was the right move. And I don't think that it was the wrong move. It just didn't work out. Like, I think that you're not going to re-sign Chris Sale. They signed him to an extension in 2018. So just living in the reality that your owner will let talent walk out the door, I don't think it was a bad move. I have a follow-up question about half-assing rebuilds, and if holding on to Crochet, if keeping Crochet and holding on to Robert would be half-assing this rebuild. And then another question, but I forgot it. So let's tell you about Sunnyside. Our friends at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary are here to elevate your summer. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. They have a crazy selection with over 100 different strains to choose from. You can choose from your indicas, your sativas, your hybrids, your indica hybrids, your sativa hybrids. They have spots as far south as Champaign and as far north as South Beloit in Illinois. So you could stop into the store nearest you for expert guidance from their staff, or select from quality lines like Cresco or Floracal. And we do have a upcoming golf event taking place with CHGO. And here for the summer is Good News' Tea Time Disposable Vape. It's bringing the classic lemonade flavor that's perfect for the golf course because we all need help staying loose on the green. So, hey, if you are going to be at the CHGO golf event coming up, maybe you sneak that in your bag and, on 3, maybe on 9, what's the next one? 15, I guess. 18, kind of space it out a little bit. You're sneaking into your bag. So go check out our friends over at Sunnyside. You can too go check out our friends at Sunnyside. You can use the code HICHGO, HICHGO over at sunnyside.shop at checkout to get 35% off brands like Cresco, Good News, and more to elevate your first purchase. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders. This is why we don't go off script here, because then we get confused and our little brains cannot process it. And that's what happened there. All right. I also want to let you know about our friends at Ray CDJR. When it comes to finding your next vehicle, make Ray CDJR your #1 draft pick. This June, shop Chryslers, Dodge, Jeeps, and Rams at Ray CDJR in Fox Lake. And during the Make This the Summer Sales event, find the perfect vehicle and score huge savings too. For a limited time, lease the new 2024 Jeep Wrangler Willys 4xe for only $419 a month, or shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. Let the team at Ray CDJR help you land the perfect vehicle at the perfect price, because with Ray's price promise, the numbers you're hearing now are the same prices you can expect to shop in store and online. That's because Ray's price promise means no more price changing, no add-ons, and no hidden fees. And since they prioritize affordability for their customers, hurry into Ray CDJR today and shop one of the Chicagoland's largest inventories, then drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect. So if you are in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, because they are the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963. All right. Is Vinnie here? No, we break soon. Okay. All right. So do you feel like the White Sox would be half-assing? Oh, he is here. Hi, Vinnie.
Hi, I am here.
A wild Vinnie appears. I feel like I'm playing Pokemon. So, hey, you're joining this conversation a little halfway through. We don't have many questions about tonight. I don't think that's we're too off.
Yeah, well, good, because I don't have many answers for you other than they only got 4 hits. There you go. That's the story.
I've won, and that'll be it. Why did Pedro get thrown out?
Pedro was arguing balls and strikes. He said after the game he did not like how the balls and strikes were being called. And if I don't know if you caught it on the going to commercial, but there was an inning-ending strikeout of Nicky Lopez. First of all, there were a lot of backwards Ks tonight on both sides, but there was an inning-ending strikeout of Nicky Lopez. You don't usually see Nicky get very animated. He did. He did not get ejected, obviously, but after that at bat, Pedro voiced his displeasure, and he was ejected because of it.
Yeah, I guess the only other thing that we were looking for is we thought this was a worse performance than the performance against Kyle Bradish, which Pedro called them out for being effing flat. Was there any fire from Pedro or any, concern or worries about them not having a flexible game plan against Stone, or did he just give credit to Stone?
I mean, he complimented the pitching, obviously, which deservedly so. But it takes 2 to tango in these types of situations. It's not as much as the White Sox have struggled offensively this year. It's not like they're cardboard cutouts. They are actively going up there and swinging at least. But so it's a little of both sides. There does have to be good pitching in order for something like this to happen tonight. But they didn't look very good. They looked lifeless to me. But they've shown over the course of the season that they are kind of overmatched on a regular basis, and certainly that was the case tonight. No, Pedro did not come anywhere close to saying anything or acting that the way he did after that game against the Orioles. When they had no hits through 7 innings, at least they had a couple more than that at that point during tonight's game.
Good to know. Also, you having fun watching Shohei Ohtani at Guaranteed Rate Field? I shared some numbers earlier. Minimum 300 pitches in the StatCast era. He is the only player with a 700 slugging percentage at Guaranteed Rate Field. He has 20 hits and 8 of them are home runs. He has more home runs than singles at Guaranteed Rate Field. 10 walks, 2 hit by pitches and has never been intentionally walked. Did they ever, did you ask Pedro, hey, you ever think of, maybe just giving him 4 free putting the 4 up?
I mean, and he's the leadoff hitter now, right? Has anybody ever been intentionally walked just to start a game? But the way the way he hits here, I mean, you're right. I feel it's automatic, right? I mean, I saw that ball go out tonight, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what Shohei Ohtani does. And I mean, listen, he does that a lot of places. He's really, really good. But particularly here in the last few years, it's just been like, better make sure you're looking up during the Ohtani at bats, because there's a good chance the ball is going to go over the fence.
I don't know how long and how delayed my cable is, or Hulu, but literally I sat down to watch the game 7:10, and I got your notifications, Vinny, for X, and I get that tweet automatically. I was like, Shohei Ohtani 1-0. I was like, it's 2 pitches, and it literally was like 4 pitches after that it was home run. I was like, son of a bitch! It's like, why? Stop pitching to him. And yes, he's a leadoff guy, so you got to pitch to him. But it's like, this is unfair. Stop it, please.
I mean, it's kind of. It's very cool. He's like maybe going to be the best player in baseball history, so that's kind of fun. But I mean, like, the idea when you watch these guys who are the best, like they remind you that they're the best, not because what they do is so much better than, like, there are guys on the White Sox or guys on any team that can hit a home run, right? And so seeing someone hit a home run is not necessarily the amazing thing, but it's that you can set your watch to it, right? I mean, whether it's Ohtani and what he does, and he's obviously the ultimate of it. Aaron Judge is up to 30 homers tonight. I mean, and think about what you talk about, like when they play Jose Ramirez, right? Like the idea that it's like, don't pitch to Jose Ramirez because he's going to do something good. He does that against the White Sox a lot because he does that to everybody a lot. He's one of the best players in baseball, and that's the thing that reminds you of that, is not necessarily the act itself, but the frequency of it.
Well, just doing the math, Herb's just said that he hit 7 homers against them last year in 7 games. He hit 2 homers in 3 games. He has 9 homers in his last 10 games against the Chicago White Sox. I mean, that is more of an ass kicking than you can imagine. I mean, outside of, 103 pitch complete game shutout, which, hey, there's Gavin Stone doing.
If a team had 9 home runs in 10 games, you'd be like, that's pretty much they're hitting that team really well. It's a guy, it's a player.
I mean, if the White Sox had 9 homers in 10 games, I think we'd be smiling ear to ear with that.
He's also,
right.
By the way, he's also the AL batting leader right now. Like, are we going to see a Triple Crown this year? Are we going to see, you know what I mean? Like, this guy, he's exceptional. There's no doubt about it.
Imagine though, if he wins a Triple Crown or a batting title as a hitter, and then next year or 2 years from now he wins a Cy Young. I mean, that's just going to be the coup de grace right there. All right, but let's get into the conversation that you were joining. We are talking about tomorrow's starter and Chris Sale. We will have a post-game show for that.
I thought you were talking about tomorrow's starter, Chad Kuhl. That's who will be starting for the White Sox.
No, it wasn't.
4 days ago. I'm sorry, 3 days ago, but 4 by the time he starts tomorrow. He threw 99 pitches in relief against the Tigers.
I think he got up to 100 because I thought I saw a stat
99.
I thought I saw a stat from Chris Withers that he was like the first person to throw 100 out of the bullpen since. You're right. First player since Minnesota Twins Andrew Alberts to enter the game in the 4th inning or later and throw 99 plus pitches. That was Albers, 108 pitches back in August 11th, 2006. And then he was the first White Sox player since Melito Perez to enter the 4th game or later and throw 99 plus pitches. And that was July 27th, 1991. That's fair to bring up. So Chad Kuhl versus Chris Sale. We were more interested in Chris Sale, but hey, it's nice to see Chad Kuhl here. But I asked Herb, was he okay with the Chris Sale trade at the time in 2016 to tap into that memory? Herb said yes, because it felt like the White Sox weren't half-assing that rebuild. Plus, Rick Hahn had trust built up in a way to take on this venture. What we ended up coming up to, I was about to ask Herb, would they be half-assing this rebuild if they were to trade Crochet at the deadline this year and hold on to Robert? Would keeping Robert be half-assing this, or is this still maybe not half-assing it if you trade him in the offseason, right? So maybe the better question would be, by 2025, if they are committing to this rebuild and Garrett Crochet and Luis Robert are both on this team, is that a half-ass?
Well, I think let's put it this way. Those trades that kickstarted the last rebuild, Chris Sale obviously being the first one, were so impactful because of what came back, right? And I mean at the time too. I'm not even talking about right now, but I mean you see that all those guys ended up, making the big leagues and stuff like that. That's obviously not the bar they wanted to set, but at the time, that was a big time prospect haul for Chris Sale. Then it was another one for Adam Eaton. Then it was another one for Jose Quintana at the following trade deadline. Rick Hahn, in the moment, right, very much capitalized on the opportunities that he had to restock this farm system and bring more talent into the organization with the guys that he had available to him to deal. Chris Getz, it seems to me, has fewer opportunities. Obviously, Garrett Crochet has turned into one that we didn't know that was going to be there, at the beginning of the season. But it seems like he capitalized with Dylan Cease. That return package seemed to meet pretty wide acclaim at the time. Now he's got more opportunities. If he's going to be, the easiest way for him to bring that talent into the organization is to trade those two guys, but he can't get lowballed. And I'm not saying taken advantage of, just he can't settle, right? He can't settle for what another team is willing to give him, because in a different market, that package might not have been there for Chris Sale, right? And all these many years later, trades might look different, especially ones involving pitching. So is he going to be able to get that type of return package for not just Crochet, but especially Robert, because Robert is the most valuable of all these guys that he has to trade, if we're still including Cease. So I would think that the answer to your question is not, if he doesn't trade them, did he screw up? It's that the fact that the right price never came along is going to be a problem, is going to hinder him. He can't settle because these guys are as good as they are, right? So I think the market is probably dictates what you're talking about more than Chris Getz. Like, I get what you're saying. Okay, is he going to hold on to him with the expectation that he might help them compete, kind of thing? I don't think that is the big question here. I think the big question is, can he get what he wants for these guys? Because I think it's pretty clear that he's open to trading them, and he's open to trading anybody, right? So I think it comes down to, will he be able to get the similar kind of package and have the desire to pull the trigger on a package that puts them in a similar position to the position that Rick Hahn was able to put them in when he made those trades way back, almost 8 years ago.
And I think that it's going to be very difficult for both Chris Getz to trade the two players that we're talking about because of the lack of time you have. It's only like 34 days left. And because of what Vinnie just said, like, are you getting the players you have in return that you want in return to justify trading a 24-year-old lefty stud or a 25, 26-year-old superstar with 3.5 years left on his contract? I think, as you were alluding to, Sean, that these deals would be more likely and better off for the White Sox because you have a little bit more time and a little bit more groundwork with the teams that would be acquiring Garrett Crochet because of being fresh on the team that he's going to be going to next year. And you have the time you're going to be talking to him right now to have a conversation in the winter meetings or the GM meetings. Then you can pull the trigger on those type of trades where you can get like multiple players and you get to have FaceTime with other general managers. I think it's just going to be really hard in the short period of time that he has to turn these players around. Now, will it be disappointing or half-assing if he keeps one of them? No, I think that, and I trust that Chris Sale knows the value of the two players that he has right there. Yes. And he won't settle for less. So I'm thinking that if he doesn't get a trade this trade deadline or this offseason, I believe that he didn't get the offer that he had already set for himself, and no one met that offer. And it might be exorbitant like the Atlanta Braves thought he was offering for Dylan Cease. So be it. Then it's not your team that you got to trade with. You just need one. You just need one AJ Preller. And if they get that one AJ Preller, I think he's going to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much of a will he half-ass it more than will he have the opportunity to full-ass it, right? That's what I would say. Yeah.
I like
Perfect.
that. And hey, I would also pay money to see Chris Sale as GM. I know that was a slip there with the Chris's there, Herb. But you said, will Chris Sale get the full opportunity for the players he's dealing? And I now I'm picturing Chris Sale GM cutting up jerseys. That'd be something. All right. I guess the reason, or really what you said, Vinny, like, will he get the package that's equivalent to what they got in 2016 for Sale? I think that has to be a little bit of a different conversation because it's not the same market for prospects that it was. The teams were more lenient to give up top prospects like Moncada and Kopech back then because those trades, and along with Cease and Aloy, led to teams kind of rethinking what prospect returns and hauls should be. But also, like, he's not Chris Sale. I guess that's what I keep thinking about. Like, the best part about this trade deadline for the Chicago White Sox is there's been a ton of pitching injuries and Garrett Crochet is healthy. Plus, Garrett Crochet is 25 years old and has 2.5 years of control. And there's only 9 teams that I counted out of the 30 that wouldn't be counted as somewhat of buyers. I had 4 different sections that I divided the teams up: sellers, iffy, browsing, and buying. I had the sellers as the White Sox, Rockies, A's, Marlins, and Angels. You can obviously have your thoughts on the Rockies, A's, Marlins, and Angels. Who are they really going to sell? That's a fair question, but they don't really seem like teams that are in contention. They're pretty far off in their division and in the overall wild card. The teams that are iffy: the Cubs, Blue Jays, Tigers, and Nationals. The Nationals are more in a youthful stage. They have a decent record, but I doubt they'd be buying. The Cubs and Blue Jays seem to be in a free fall, and the Tigers are fourth in a pretty bad division, and they probably are thinking that some of their higher paid players might bounce back. And plus, they don't have their number 1 draft pick, Spencer Torkelson, even on the major league roster. So I think that might, hold them back from selling. But in the browsing category: Reds, Diamondbacks, Rays, Twins, Orioles, Red Sox, Royals, Pirates, Cardinals, Guardians. Buying: Phillies, Yankees, Dodgers, Brewers, Braves, Mariners, Padres, Astros, Mets, Rangers. Like, that is why Garrett Crochet, I think, is truly being sold right now, is because he might be the best apple of the bunch on the market. But again, you shouldn't expect a Sale return because Chris Sale was a player that you were trading, and I'm not counting his 2010 and 2011 stats, but over a 5-year span had 1,015 and 2/3 innings pitched, had a 3.04 ERA, had a 5th place finish, a 4th place finish, a 3rd place finish, a 5th place finish, and a 6th place finish in the Cy Young. And you're comparing this to a guy who started 17 games in his career, hasn't reached the 100 inning mark this season yet, has a 3.05 ERA and 130 Ks, but still, like, he's not Chris Sale. And I guess I'm just wondering, like, can I really convince myself, being another GM, that this player is truly worth a haul? If people are so hesitant to give up prospect hauls, what sets Garrett Crochet apart to be in a even Chris Sale territory? If we're talking about resetting this franchise and rebuilding like they did with Chris Sale, I feel like he needs to develop his resume a little bit more to be that Chris Sale type. Maybe I'm just off. Maybe so many teams think they're in contention, and a player like this could make them a title contender for 2024. But I don't know. That seems short-sighted because, again, this isn't a guy like Chris Sale who's throwing 174 innings pitched in every single season for 5 straight years. He's encroaching on a new territory.
But also think about this, Sean. You just read off all the names, all the teams that are thinking that they're close. And then they got to look no farther than last year to look at 2 wildcard teams in the World Series. Like, if they can make it, just getting into the tournament is the thing. And you know what would help us? Big, powerful left-handed starter who shuts everybody down that he faces. They can, I'm telling you, it just takes one of those general managers to think, hey, this guy can do some things. And then all the rest of those teams competing to try to get him, and that drives the price up. Now, will that happen? I don't know. But it only takes one of those guys. You got aggressive general managers out there that think that they are a Garrett Crochet away from taking this team from where they are in mediocrity to in the playoffs and then dominating.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure, as we talked about yesterday, as I wrote the other day, I mean, I'm not quite sure that the values are going to line up. I'm not quite sure if the value that other teams see in a guy that they might have questions about, what he's going to be like physically for the remainder of this season, is going to line up with what the White Sox value him as, which is the best pitcher on their team, a guy that they took with the #1 draft pick, a guy who they've watched do something that is very impressive under their watch, right? So I think that there's plenty pointing the other direction, right? He's one of the best pitchers in baseball right now, and why wouldn't you want that as part of your starting rotation? A guy who might be able to help deliver you a World Series this year and in the 2 years to come, right? But right, it's about those values lining up because I don't think Chris Sale. Now I've done it. Thanks, Herb. I don't think Chris gets to talk about whether what kind of job he's doing and if the overall rebuild. I don't think he hits that ball as hard as he needs to if he settles for what another team is going to give him rather than says, give me this or you're not getting him kind of thing, because this is a guy who can continue into the future to be very, very valuable. And perhaps that those talks come again in the offseason or next season. Remember when he talked about the Dylan Cease trade, he very recently, he said that he'd been talking to GMs since the fall, and it ended up happening in March, right? So I mean, some of these things can gestate for a pretty long time. There is, I see this trade deadline very much like I saw the winter meetings with Dylan Cease, right? There's no need for them to get rid of either of these guys, Crochet or Robert, because they have them under control for multiple years after this one.
Yeah, and it's not fun having people speed by your house after a stop sign, of all things. How rude. But also, not fun to be talking about Robert still. But we're only 33 days, 18 hours, and 48 minutes away from finding peace from this topic. So hopefully we will be 34 days into the future soon. Herb, why don't you let people know about linings?
When the weather gets warm, just any beer won't do. You want something light, refreshing, and flavorful. Leinenkugel has flavor for every summer moment that you'll have this summer. It's the perfect companion for the great outdoors, the great American pastime, or a great night out with friends. Whenever I go to the ballpark, the other day on Monday, I'm grabbing myself a summer shandy because it's summer. Hell, it's in the name. And if you want to try a beer similar to summer shandy that has natural lemonade flavor, so you can try the Lakeside Cherry, which has real grape juice, or real cherry. Goodness gracious, I'm reading forward. You can try the Lakeside Cherry, which has real cherry juice, or grapefruit shandy with natural white grapefruit flavor, or honey lemon light with 99 calories and a sweet finish, plus classic crowd-pleasing brews like Leinenkugel's Light or Lining's Original. Flavor every summer moment with Leinenkugel's, the official craft beer of the Chicago White Sox. Go to leinie.com/CHGO to find delivery options near you. That's LEINIE.com/CHGO, or pick up Leinenkugel's pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. Leinenkugel's, flavor the moment, celebrate responsibly. The Jacob Leinenkugel Brewing Company, Chippewa Falls.
Yes. Come on, we could say it. I mean, who cares if it's a little time delayed? It might be funny if it's all like a little scattered. We also want to let you know, especially Jordo, who asked in the comments earlier, when's the CHGO Cookout Classic Golf Tournament? Well, you could join the CHGO host for the inaugural Cookout Classic Golf Tournament presented by Miller Lite, Shady Rays, and Circa Sports Illinois at St. Andrews Golf and Country Club. That's course 2. Will also be at the Joe Jumsick Lakewood. I don't know what that means. So just course 2/Joe Jumsick/Lakewood. Herb, you're the golf guy. Do you know what that means?
I don't.
Okay. But you could sign up as an individual, a twosome, or a foursome now. Your entry fee includes 18 holes with a cart. That's for a 4-person scramble, a tee gift for every player, a token for complimentary Miller Lite. There'll be hole contests and great giveaways and prizes for contest holes, winning teams, and last place. There'll be 1 complimentary sparked Arnold Palmer per person, and there's a lunch and ceremony after the round. A cash bar will be available for alcoholic beverages. Individual hole and tournament sponsorships are available. You can contact our guy Spencer Smith for more info at spencer@allcitynetwork.com. But if you are looking to join us at the CHGO Cookout Classic, head over to allchgo.com/events to sign up for that today. But it should be a blast over at St. Andrews Golf Club and Golf and Country Club. I don't know if I'll put on the puffy pants and make a fool of myself, but hey, I definitely have the golf club to do that.
You got the Payne Stewarts, the Knickerbockers.
I would do my best to find a pair. That's for sure. Watch just on July 22nd. We'll be out on hole like 5 or something. Like just starting the tournament, and then we get a buzz from Ken Rosenthal and Garrett Crochet has been traded. All right, I want to have a little fun with you guys because through 82 games, this has been hellacious. I mean, will the White Sox?
I'm having a fine season.
Right,
I'm not winning or losing. I'm doing just fine.
Great. I'm happy to hear that for you. So Herb and I are having a tough time. The White Sox players are having a tough time. The White Sox front office is having a tough time. Pedro Grifol is having a tough time. Vinnie Duber's just fine. So don't worry.
I'm fine. Yeah.
He's fine. He's fine, folks. Well, I think you might enjoy this. Why don't we try this? Because I saw this pop up on Twitter and it was for the NBA. And with JJ Redick signing, someone posted a picture of him in a Milwaukee Bucks jersey. And I was like, what? And I had the reaction, he played for them? So in our first inaugural version of he played for them, Herb Lawrence, and don't flash the picture just yet, Sarah. Herb Lawrence and Vinnie Duber, you will be facing off against each other. There are 3 hints available. Oh, no, don't flash the picture. Okay. It's his back, so I don't think that would worry. Take the picture down, please. Okay. All right. Well, you'll get 3 hints. You guys will have to guess at who this player is. So you can, first off, I'll have Herb select either heads or tails.
Tails.
Okay. So Vinny will be going first. Vinny, there are 3 hints you get to ask from. So you get to pick hint number 1, hint number 2, or hint number 3. This will give you a clue to who this player was. He played 2 games in his White Sox career.
All right. Let's go with number 2.
All right. Number 2, he was an outfielder and he was number 5, as that picture showed.
Very unhelpful. Do I get to more hints or no?
Oh, well, I guess I can give this background. He was the 12th pick in the 2003 MLB draft. So those are your 2 hints. The 12th pick in the 2003 MLB draft, and that he was an outfielder wearing the number 5 in those 2 games.
Because I think I recognize the other guy. I think that was Juan Pierre, wasn't it?
Juan Pierre and Ozzie Guillen were the other guys.
Those guys I recognize.
So thankfully, in that photo, there was no name on the back of the jersey.
2 games. I have no idea.
Okay. All right. Do you give up?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Herb, hint number 1 or hint number 3?
3.
We're going to workshop this. 3. Here are the teams that he played for: the New York Mets, the Washington Nationals, and Pittsburgh Pirates. Before
I know who it is now.
I got it. Yeah. I got it. I actually was at his first White Sox game ever in Cleveland. It's Lastings Millage.
It's Lastings Millage. Herb gets the first win he played for them. Lastings Millage did play for the Chicago White Sox, as that photo shows. So, Sarah, if you want to flash that, you can flash that now. We do have historical imaging photo catalog. So now we can dig into the catalog and pick up 2011 spring training photos of Juan Pierre and Lastings Millage stretching as Ozzie Guillen smiles and chats with him. Well, the glory days back then in 2011 when Majestic still made the jerseys, huh?
Beautiful.
Okay. All right.
I literally took a picture of when he first batted. They had a picture, I think, of Juan Pierre, but had Lastings Millage's name up there in Cleveland. They're still mourning the death of, I think, Herb Score that offseason, or Bob Feller. One of the 2 died that season, and they couldn't get everything right.
Well, one of them are dead. So Sky Point.
Well, both of them are dead. Currently.
Both of them are dead. Okay. All right. Well, rest in peace. All right. The only other update that I did want to give was a minor league update, and then we'll get out of here again. Tomorrow's game is at
that was 3:10. It. I don't get a chance. There's no more. There's just the one picture of Lastings Millage, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
What was the first clue? His name was Lastings Millage.
They played for the 2011 team.
No, also unhelpful.
Okay, well, hey, you should have picked the better number. You should have picked number 3.
Just hearing that he played for the Nationals was the only helpful part.
You don't have a category. You don't have the MLB top 10 or top 15 past like 24 drafts memorized.
Absolutely not,
weirdo. All right, I thought you were a baseball writer. Is this not the news, Vinny?
The draft, the MLB draft, something that I'll probably have to talk about in 2 weeks. You're coming at
hey.
The MLB
I'll do my
draft.
best to study as much as I can to make sure that you don't have to do as much talking as you want that night. All right.
They got an outfielder who they might have on their actual team in 4 years. There you go. That's what I have to say about the MLB draft.
A shortstop who's a college player, so maybe it'll be a little
might
different.
Be on the team in 4 years. Excellent.
Hey, Jacob Gonzalez is looking decent. All right, anyways, minor league update. I don't think that he ended up getting on base today. which is a little unfortunate. No, he did. He had 2 hits. All right, so I'm a big dumb idiot. George Wilkow has extended his on-base streak to 7 games. He went 2 for 4 tonight. He also has mixed in some walks and some hit by pitches as well. He's done a great job over the past 7 games to kind of settle in. There's a 3-year age difference between him and the rest of Advanced A. He's 18 years old, should be just finishing up his high school career just a couple of months ago, and now he's in Advanced A, so that's very exciting. Edgar Caro hit his 12th homer in a 8-7 win for the Barons tonight. Also, Brooks Baldwin hit his 5th homer for the Barons. And then Herb's guy, Riku Nishida. Your man, Herb. Your man, 150 grand. He is now got a 283 average. He went 2 for 5 tonight, had 2 runs. He has a 760 OPS, which he is a leadoff hitter. He's not going to provide a lot of slug, but he's going to provide a ton of average, and he's going to provide a ton of on base. And Herb, he stole his 27th bag of the night. So Riku Nishida. Of the night. And this is a guy, my favorite thing about him, not only is he Japanese, not only was he playing out in Oregon in the Pac-12. It seems like a lot of these guys are SEC guys. Love to see some Pac-12, especially as it's now folded. But he was using a wood bat in college. He said, you guys could take your BB cores, you could take your metal bats. I'm using a wood bat in college. And he's cool. He's different, and that's what's fun. So Riku Nishida has been a fun watch in Kannapolis, and hopefully he'll be a part of the White Sox future.
Do they have a mechanism for recycling broken bats or getting rid of broken wooden bats at the college level? Like, it never happens. So like if a bat like explodes on the field, like do they have to like stop the game and like slowly pick up all the pieces? Like, do they know, like do they have somebody that can handle that? I don't know.
And my worry now is that a dog's the bat boy. So what is it? The dog's job to go pick up all these wood pieces that are on the ground? I hope not. Maybe there's a vacuum. Maybe they've created a bat vacuum. We haven't looked into that. So we'll report tomorrow after the White Sox play the Braves on if there's a bat vacuum for all these pieces. I mean, what do they do for a White Sox game?
Well, but my point is like they expect that to happen. So they've got like a team of like ball people that can come out and bat people that can come out and handle that.
I think by game 142, people might not be too interested on what's happening in the field. So if you could find the guy that works at Guaranteed Rate Field and his job is to clean up shattered bat pieces, that might be one hell of an article for ALLCHGO.com. Shout out to our guy, Vinnie Duber, our CHGO Whites. It's a very niche job. Shout out to our CHGO White Sox beat writer, Vinnie Duber. You can follow him at Vinnie Duber and read his work at ALLCHGO.com. Again, make sure that you're following him. He'll be at the park tomorrow, giving you updates on the game between the Braves and tomorrow, the makeup game from April. That's Herb Lawrence. You can follow him at Ekronwall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. Thank you to Sarah for producing the show, and we'll be back tomorrow after the Braves and White Sox game. Goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.